Guys, yes, before starting our today's sessions, as always, let us just try to have a very small and a quick recap of the concepts which I had covered in our last 2 days of our session. So, guys, from last 2 days onwards, we've been discussing about constructors concept. So, yes, what we know about constructors, we know that constructor is used to initialize a class object. We know what is the syntax of a constructor, like access modifier, class name, parenthesis, open braces, and close braces. We know that there are two types of constructors are there: parameterized constructor and default constructor. And yes, we know how to call a Java class constructor. That is, a constructor will be called simultaneously whenever we are creating an object. Yes. And after that, yesterday we discussed about some very important key points. Like the very first key point is constructor name should be same name as class name. Actually, that is also one of the rules for writing a constructor. Am I right or wrong? Basically, there are two rules are there. What are those? First rule is, what is the first rule? Constructor name should be same as class name, and constructor should not be having any return type. And very important third rule is, we need to initialize a class object with the available constructors present in our program. So yesterday we already seen that. And yes, if we are not writing any constructors, if we are not writing any constructors in our program, then by default Java compiler is going to add a default constructor. Yes, that also we already seen that. And Java compiler will be adding a default constructor only if you are not writing default constructor. We already seen that in our yesterday session also. And yes, guys, please tell me, in constructor, no, inside a constructor, can I write a return statement? Yes, we can write a return statement. Can we make our constructor as private? Respond. Yes, we can do that. See, what are the access modifiers? Like if compiler is providing us with a default constructor, if compiler is providing our program with a default constructor, what can be the possible access modifiers? How many? Two. What are those? Public and default. Why only two? Whatever the class is having, the same access modifier will be appended to the default constructor which is provided by the compiler. And we already know that Java class will be having only two access modifiers. That is, what are those? Public and default. So yes, these are all the concepts which we had covered in our yesterday session. And yesterday ending, I requested you to write some differences between constructor and a method. Did you do that? Very good. So guys, one more time I am saying this. In a Java interview, differences plays a very crucial role. Differences. In such kind of differences, what is the difference between a constructor and a method? Very important expected interview point of view question. So kindly please make sure you should be able to answer that correctly. All right. Okay. Now, see guys, when we discussed about variables concept, so yes, we know that we are having two types of variables are there. Three types of variables are there. What are those? Instance, static, local. Yes, we already discussed about these variables concept, but there is one point left behind in instance variables, and there is one point left behind in static variables. I said that we are going to discuss those 2 points today. So yes, what is the point left behind in instance variable? Instance variable. Whenever you are creating an object, every time a separate copy of instance variable will be created. And when you're speaking about static variable, how many copies of static variable will be available? Only one copy. Actually, yesterday evening, I have given you a small task. Did you do that? That task is actually directly linked to this point. instance variable. For every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. So I'll do one thing right now. I want to explain that concept to you, like instance variable. For every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created, and static variable, there will be only one copy of static variable will be available throughout the program. I'll explain that concept right now. And after that, after listening to the concept, I want you to analyze our yesterday's task one more time. Could you please do that for me? Right. Now let us start. So guys, here what I'm going to do, let me just try to take three instance variables. Okay. Let me go with like string emp name, int emp id, and string emp dept department. So all these three are instance variables. Instance variables. Okay. Now I want you to please concentrate. Please concentrate. Okay. Now instance variables. Now I'm going to take a parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. Okay. Just let me try to go with class A. And here string name, comma, int id. Let me go like id, comma, string dept. Just like this. And now here name equal to emp name, id equal to emp id, dept equal to emp department. Just like this. Take a minute time and try to understand the code here. What is happening here? Yes. So I have taken a parameterized constructor. How many parameters are there? Three parameters are there. Simply three parameters are there. And in those three parameters, like first one is string, second one is int, third one is also string. Okay. Now, what is happening in line number 11? Tell me. What is happening in line number 11? I already said this. Whenever you are having an equal to, whenever you are having an equal to, always start analyzing it from the right side. What is happening here? Name. What is the value of name? Up to now, we did not give any value. So in line number 11, what is exactly happening? Whatever the value this name is assigning it to emp name. I hope you're understanding the point here. And whatever the value this ID is having, that exact value, we are assigning it to emp ID. And whatever this DPT is having, the same value we are assigning it to emp department. And kindly please do remember, guys, all these three are instance variables. All these three are instance variables. Okay. Now, let me go to my main method, please. Main method. Okay. Now, inside my main method, I want to create an object. Okay. Now, new, don't answer the question. I'm going to point and I'll ask. Please don't answer the question. New class A like this. New class A like this. Okay. Now, you. Raise your hand, please. Behind. Beside. Not boy, girl. Yes. Tell me. If I remove line number 17 from the comment, am I going to get any error? Think a minute. One more time. If I remove line number 17 from the comment, am I going to get any error? take help from your friend. Ask, no problem. Am I going to get any error? No. If I remove line number 17 from the comment, am I going to get an error or not? No. Okay. Right. Only you. No. Yes. Sit down. No need to stand. She's saying no. Is that answer right or wrong? No. Are you saying that we'll be getting an error or there will not be any error? I'll be getting an error. Are you sure? Why? Okay. So, guys, please listen to this. In our demo classes, in my sessions, one fine day, I'm going to ask you questions individually. I'll point and I'll ask you questions I said. Did you remember that? Just like a mock interview. Yeah. Next week, next week. Of course, I may not be able to ask everyone. Next week. So, I don't know when. I may ask you Monday also. I don't know when, but I'll ask you the whatever the concepts which we had covered up to that particular week. Maybe I can ask Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday. I may ask. I already said this. Only coming to the classes, listening to the classes will not help you if you are not revising. Seriously. Java is such a language. Whenever you are listening, everything will be easy. But once you started implementing, then you will be having a trouble. So please revise. Revise. Actually, yesterday also I said that, right? So guys, before coming to today's class, I want you to revise all our previous concepts and then come to class, I said. Honestly, tell me, after completing yesterday's class, how many of you open your books? I mean, revised previous concepts. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Down. What about others? Busy? You know how to check the screen time also, right? Check that. Yesterday, not right now. Yesterday, how much time you spend with your mobile? Try to check that. If you are not revising, you are literally wasting your time. You need to revise. Please don't do the same mistakes which everyone will be doing. Everyone who are presently sitting in this class, everyone will be placed. That is for sure. But some people will be getting placed within 1 month or 2 months. Some people will be getting placed after 1 year. The difference is your hard work. So please don't waste the time, guys. Please don't waste the time. Okay. So next week, one fine day, I'll ask you questions. I believe it's okay, guys, for everyone. Not Monday. Don't think like Monday. If I say Monday, you will not come on Monday, right? Anyways, next week, one day, I'm going to ask you questions. So kindly please revise. So yes, now, guys, online students, is my voice clear? Online students, please check. Is my voice clear? Right now, is my voice clear? Right now, is it clear? Perfect. Okay, that is good. Okay, fine. So, guys, the question is, if we are removing this from the comment, am I going to get an error or not? Yes. Why? We need to initialize the class object with the available constructor which is present in our program. That's actually the third point. Very, very important key point. Okay. Now let me just try to pass some values. And here I'm going with, okay, ID. I'm going with 101. Department, I'm going with Java. Just equal to AOBJ belongs to class A. Just like this. Okay, let me just try to make it like AOBJ1. Okay, good. Now I want to create 3 more objects. Two, sorry, two, what? Okay, three more objects. This is AOBJ2, this is AOBJ3. Here I'm just trying to go with name, and here I'm making it as 102, and here I'll go with AWS. And here I'll go with one more name. Let me just try to go with CHOUSE cows, and I'm going with 3, and here I'm going with ORACLE, Oracle, like that. Okay, now I'm just trying to write like this: system.out.println SYSO. Now AOBJ1 plus AOBJ1. Guys, could you please tell me in how many ways we can access an instance variable? I'm sorry. What are those? Identifier name and class object. Okay, right now AOBJ1.emp name. Let me remove this. AOBJ1.emp name plus a small space plus AOBJ1.emp ID plus a small space plus AOBJ1.emp department. Okay. Now, after that, exactly, I'm going to write a few more statements. This is AOBJ2. AOBJ2.emp name, 2.emp ID, AOBJ2.emp department. And here AOBJ3 and AOBJ3.emp name and emp ID, emp department. Like that, I'm trying to do. Okay. Now, guys, answer my question. How many objects we have created in this particular program? 3 objects. Okay. So, did you remember our internal architecture of JVM? Do you remember the internal architecture of JVM? In like when we discussed about internal architecture of JVM, I said something about heap area. HEAP, heap area, AREA, heap area. What is the use of this heap area? Like what will be stored inside the heap area? Every Java class object will be stored inside the heap area. Am I right or wrong? Okay. Now I'll do one thing. For example, okay, just let me try to keep it like this. Now here, these are the 3 objects which we have created. Okay, just a second. Let me try to write it like this. 1, 2, 3. 3 objects. Now let me just try to paste all these 3 like this here. Okay. Now these are all those objects, 3 objects. Okay. Now AOBJ1. Whenever you are creating AOBJ1 like this, now what actually happens, okay, we are having 3 instance variables, right? What are those? EMP name, EMP ID, and EMP department. Okay. EMP name, EMP ID, and EMP department. Just for this, okay. And here also, and here also, like this. Okay. Now, nope, sorry. Let me remove this. Okay. Hang on. I'll try to copy it. Okay. Now, for the first one, AOBJ1. What is the value for EMP name, guys? What is the value for EMP name? Kishan. Okay. KISHN Kishan. EMP ID 101 and EMP department Java. So EMP name would be Kishan, EMP ID would be 101, and EMP department would be Java. This entire thing is one object value, and this will be referred to AOBJ1 like this. Now, second time, like whenever you're trying to create one more object, class A, I mean, new class A, Sujata 102 AWS and AOBJ2, then what happens, one more object will be created. Okay. And now here you will be having again EMP name, you'll be having something like, just let me try to write SUJATHA Sujata, EMP ID 102 and department AWS. Like this. Okay, this is completely a separate copy of instance variables, and these copies of, this copy of instance variable will be pointed towards this AOBJ2. Now, third time, whenever you're trying to create one more time, yes, again, separate copy of instance variables will be created, and right now GHOESE Gauss and EMP ID 103 and ORACLE Oracle. It will be something like this, and completely one more separate copy of instance variables got created, and this will be pointed towards this AOBJ3. Now answer my question. AOBJ1 dot EMP name. What is the value? Come on, Kishan. AOBJ2 dot EMP ID. 1 or 2. AOBJ3 dot EMP department. I hope you're understanding the point here. See, 3 separate copies of instance variables will be created. How many objects you are creating? For example, sir, I'm creating 30 objects. Yes, 30 copies of instance variables will be created. Sir, I'm going to create only one object. Okay, only one copy of instance variables will be created. Am I clear with this? Respond. So right now, if I execute my program, okay, Windows show view console, okay, and now I'm going to execute my program. Right click, run as Java application. Is this the exact output what you are expecting? For AOBJ1, these are the values. AOBJ2, these are the values. And for AOBJ3, these are the values. Okay. Now I'm going to do one thing. For example, let me just try to take one more variable. Okay. String EMP COMPANY. Company, EMP company. Okay. And now, guys, please concentrate clearly. Please concentrate clearly. Right now, what I'll be trying to do, let me just try to add one more parameter. String, string STRING, string COMPANY company. And obviously here we'll be getting an error. Why we are getting an error? Why we are getting an error at line number 19, 20 and 21? We are having how many parameters here? How many parameters we are passing here? That's the reason we are getting an error. So just let me try to go with like TCS, and here also I'll go with TCS, and here also I'll go with TCS. Okay. Now, yes, here I just want to add one more value, that is, okay, please, AOBJ1 dot EMP company, and here also I'll go with plus AOBJ2 dot EMP company, and finally one more, that is AOBJ3 dot EMP company. Okay, now right now I'm trying to execute my program. Right click, run as Java application, Windows show view console, and of course we'll be getting, oh, why we are getting null? I did not pass. I did not pass values. Here I did not assign the value, right? Could you please tell me the code? First start with right side, COMPANY company, okay, equal to EMP company. Okay. Now let's try to execute our code. Right click, run as Java application, and yes, this is the exact output which we are expecting. Am I clear with this? Up to now, is it clear for everyone? Respond. Online students, kindly please respond, guys. Up to now, is it clear for everyone? Please respond. Please respond. Perfect. That is perfect. That is perfect. Okay. Okay. Then we'll do one thing. For example, now here, if I write, let me come back here. Okay. Now, for example, AOBJ1 dot EMP ID equal to, I'm going to write something like this. AOBJ1 dot EMP ID equal to 1001. Okay. Now, if I write like this, all the values will be updated or only one value will be updated. Which value will be updated? The value which is actually 101 will be updated to 1001. Am I right or wrong? Respond. Okay. Now, just for our confirmation, AOBJ1 dot EMP ID equal to 1001 like this. And here I'm just trying to, sorry, just let me try to write like this. And now I'm just trying to print exactly the same values like this. Now let's see our output. Right click, run as Java application, and I'll be getting my updated value. Am I clear with this? Respond. Okay. Okay. Now, guys, I have a question. The question is, for all these three employees, company name is same. Am I right or wrong? So why unnecessarily creating three different copies? If there is only one copy, if there is only one variable, if you can use that single variable to all the objects, obviously memory will be saved. Am I right or wrong? Why? Because instance variable. If you are taking instance variables, for every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. Guys, please concentrate correctly. Please concentrate correctly. Right now, what I'm trying to say here is, here we are having AOBJ1, AOBJ2, AOBJ3. Three different objects we have taken, and we have taken 4 instance variables. Okay. Why? Because EMP name will be different for every employee. EMP ID will be different for every employee. EMP department also will be different for every employee. So different variables we have taken. But EMP company is same for all the employees. Right now, in my program example, for guys, are you understanding me? Respond. So if I'm taking that EMP company also as an instance variable, okay, I'll be getting my program output, but literally that does not make any sense. Why? Because for EMP company also, every time, how many copies will be created? Right? Okay. Now answer my question. EMP name, this variable, how many copies will be created? Come on. 3. Why 3 copies? 3 different objects. For EMP ID, 3 copies. For EMP department, 3 copies. For EMP company also 3 copies. But actually not required. If there is only one copy, and if you can use that for all the objects, memory will be saved. Am I clear with this point? So what I'm going to do here, please observe. Here I'm going to make EMP company equal to TCS, and I will make this as a static. And let me remove this constructor also. I don't need that parameter. Okay. And here I'm removing this excess value also like this. Now, please answer my question. Static variables. In how many ways we can access a static variable? What are those? Identifier name, class object, class name. Whenever you are trying to take a static variable like this, now actually what will be happening here? Just let me try to keep it, and here, okay, I'm going to remove this. Okay, now if I'm trying to take static static string emp emp company equal to TCS. Whenever I'm trying to take a static variable like this, now what will be happening? Yes, a variable will be created. Which variable? Static variable will be created. Let me just try to write like this. Okay, just a second. Okay, a static variable. This is string. I'm sorry, it's a small typo. Please don't mind. No. Okay, now here I'm going to EMP name, sorry, EMP COMPANY company equal to, tell me, TCS. A static variable will be created like this. EMP company equal to TCS. And now this static variable, how many copies of this static variable will be present? Only one copy. Now that static variable will be referred to AOBJ1. It will be referred to AOBJ2. Just say AOBJ1, AOBJ2, and AOBJ3 also. Means, answer my question. AOBJ1 dot EMP name. What is the output? Answer. AOBJ1 dot EMP name. AOBJ2 dot EMP name. AOBJ3 dot EMP name. AOBJ1 dot EMP company. AOBJ2 dot EMP company. AOBJ3 dot EMP company. Are you understanding the concept here, guys? Static variable will be referred to all the objects. How many copies of static variable will be available? Only one copy. So right now, if I'm trying to access like this also, AOBJ1 dot EMP company, AOBJ2 dot EMP company, and AOBJ3 dot EOBJ company also, we will be getting exactly the same output. Now, in this case, what actually happens, our memory will be saved. We are saving the memory. For example, now, guys, this is actually very, very important. Please check this. For example, AOBJ1, eyes on the board. AOBJ1 dot EMP company equal to HCL. Okay, I'm changing the value. AOBJ1 dot EMP company equal to HCL. And now I'm just trying to print all these values one more time. One more time. Now, please tell me here, what is my output? You seriously need to respond. Here, what is our output? Here, what is our output? Here, what is our output? Come on. Why not? Here, what is our output? 1001. Okay. Here, what is our output? I'm sorry. Here, what is our output? Think about it. Think about it. Please remember this diagram. Please remember this diagram. Actually, what is happening here? I'm trying to write AOBJ1.EMP company equal to HCL. Means this is the code. What is that code? Just let me try to write like this. AOBJ1.EMP company equal to HCL. I'm writing like this. Now tell me where the value will be updated. First here or here or here or here. For example, I'll do one thing. Let me just for understanding purpose, I'm giving this address location as something like 456 and this address location as something like 963. This address location as 789 and this address location as something like 412. Okay. Now, whenever you are writing AOBJ.EMP company equal to HCL, where the value will be updated. In 456, is there any variable like EMP company? Then how? Did you understand my question? Respond here. If you are, okay, AOBJ1, sorry, this is AOBJ1. I'm sorry, let me try to write like this, and this is AOBJ1. This is AOBJ1. Now tell me where the value will be updated. 456. At 456, do you have any variable like EMP company? How many variables you are having at 456? 3. What are those? EMP name, EMP ID, and EMP department. So here, whenever you are trying to write like this, HCL will be updated at the static variable. Means here. Now answer my question. After executing this line number 31, tell me, AOBJ1.EMP company, AOBJ2.EMP company, AOBJ3.EMP company. Why? Because how many copies of static variable will be available? Only one copy. If you are modifying the value of a static variable, the updated value will be reflected to all the objects which are present in your program. I hope it's clear, guys. Let me just try to execute my program. So right click, run as Java application, Windows show view console, HCL, HCL, HCL. But here the value got updated to only for AOBJ1. Am I clear with this? Respond. Okay. Online students, kindly please respond, guys. Online students, kindly please respond. Am I clear with this? See, guys, the concept is very, very simple here. Instance variable, static variable. Instance variable, static variable. When you're speaking about instance variable, how many copies of instance variable will be created? How many objects you are creating, those many copies of instance variable will be created. You can individually change the value of an instance variable according to your requirements. No problem. When you're speaking about static variable, how many copies of static variable will be available? Only one copy. If you are modifying the value of a static variable, the updated value will be reflected to the entire program. That is the only reason when you are accessing a static variable, instead of accessing with the help of object, we are going to access with the help of a class name, class A. And here also we will be going with the class name. Static variables are not limited to an object. Static belongs to the class, entire class. That is the reason we'll be accessing a static variable with the help of its respective class name. Did you remember? Actually, I said that, guys, this is a highly recommended approach. It is a best approach to access a static variable with the help of its respective class name, I said. Did you remember this? Right. Now, let me just try to keep it like this. Here, directly, I'm accessing with the help of an object. And here, I'm trying to access with the help of its respective class name. For example, my question for you is, if I change this AOBJ1 to AOBJ2, is there any change in my output? Come on. Perfect. AOBJ2. Okay, fine, no problem. I mean, AOBJ1 or AOBJ2, that literally does not matter. The value will be updated. Once the value got updated, that same value will be reflected to all the objects. So right now also, you will be getting exactly the same output. Is this concept clear, guys? So one more time, for one last time, please answer my question. Instance variables. How many copies of instance variable will be created? How many objects you are creating? Those many copies of instance variable will be available. So each object you can modify. No problem. But when you're speaking about static variable, how many copies of static variable will be present? Only one copy, and that single copy will be reflected to all the objects. Am I clear with this? So at any particular point of time, for example, I'm having 1,000 lines of code. At 500 line, you changed the value of a static variable. After 500 line, remaining all the lines, wherever you are, how you are accessing a static variable, the updated value will be reflected. Am I clear with that? Respond. Now, please have this program. Please. Go ahead. Go ahead. First, write this program, please. Can you write it without seeing? Why? Why? You already listened, right? Please don't copy paste, guys. Don't copy paste. EMP name, that's just a variable. Shrikant, that's just a variable. If you observe line number 23, 24, and 25, why we are getting these yellow color lines? Warning. Yeah, why? EMP company is which variable? What is the recommended approach for accessing a static variable? Class name. So why you are creating an object to access a static variable? That's the reason you are just getting a warning. That's it. If you are trying to access with the help of class name, you will not be getting that warning. Okay, but you just keep right like this only. No problem. Please. And I believe you understand why I have written like this also, right? Why? Here, this one. The cursor will be coming to the new line. Please, please. Shrikant, if you are not having a proper internet connection, I strongly advise you come to offline classes, Shrikant. Okay. There is a reason why I'm not answering your query. What you are doing when I explain the concept? Please don't get obsessed with the question, buddy. If you are not having a proper internet connection, come to offline classes. Please don't waste your time there. I hope you're understanding, Shrikant. So, guys, what is happening in line number 13? Could you please tell me what is happening in line number 13 here? We are assigning the value of this parameter. I mean, by the way, it's a local variable, right? We are assigning the value of this local variable to our instance variable. That's it. Power cut. That's why I'm asking. No, it's not like that, Shrikant. It's not like a one-to-one class. That's what I'm trying to say. Come to offline classes. And I'm damn sure you did not write the program also. You're not even writing the code also. That's what. If power cut is there, you will not be able to understand this entire program. Same for Narsima, you also. What you're doing when I'm explaining the code. If I want to explain the entire program, you know, the time will be wasted, right? Not only yours. I mean, you will be okay, but what about others? Others' time will be wasted. So that's not going to happen, buddy. That's what. That's what. And regarding this static variable, again, we will be trying to discuss this again after 2 days. After 2 to 3 days, we will be discussing about static concept. You know, we can use static keyword in 3 ways. What are those? A variable can be declared as a static, method can be declared as a static, and a block can be declared as static. At the time, again, I'm going to discuss. So in constructors uses, what is the first use? Constructor is used to initialize the values. Sorry, constructor is used to initialize a class object. That is the first use. What is that second use? Constructor is used to provide values for the instance variables. I believe you understand that point right now. Two more minutes. Done. Carry on. Carry on. So here, if I write AOBJ3 dot EMP company name equal to HCL, is there any change in my output? No. Why? Because it is a static variable. As a matter of fact, guys, if I remove this, if I remove that AOBJ1, AOBJ2, AOBJ3, directly can I write like this also? Yes or no? Static variable. In how many ways we can access static variable? Three ways. What are those? Identifier name, class name, and class object. I can use anything, anyway, no problem. I can write AOBJ1 dot EMP company or else 2 or else 3, no problem. Once you updated the value of a static variable, the updated value will be reflected to the entire program. Entire program. And one more time, I'm saying this again, we'll be discussing about this static variables concept. Don't worry about it. How many are writing? Please raise. Up to line number 29 completed. Yes, no. Okay. Please use shortcuts. Please use shortcuts. Now, after listening to this session, I want you to analyze our yesterday's program. Yes? No? Yes or no? Tell me here. Please analyze. I already said this in the starting, like beginning of the class only. Today, I'm going to explain this concept. After that, whatever the task which I have given you in our yesterday's class, please analyze it. Remember, instance variable. For every instance, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. Completed? If you're writing, kindly please raise your hand. If you're writing, please raise. Please raise. One last minute. One last minute. Okay. I believe it's complete for everyone. Okay. Now I'll do one thing. Let me remove all this. Okay. Now, guys, please listen. Eyes on the board. String juice name. Int price. String shop. Like this. I want you to write a program, some juice names, prices, and shop. Just right now, how we have written without seeing our previous program. Please don't refer to our previous program and start writing the code now. Without referring to our previous program. Sir, guys, in these three variables, you need to take one variable as a static variable. You need to take one in these three variables. You need to take one variable as a static variable. Which variable you will prefer? Shop. Why? Because it is a common property. Common property. Go ahead. Don't refer. Don't refer to the previous program. Take a parameterizer constructor, assign values to these instance variables and one static variable. Okay, just let me try to write a static variable also. Directly I'm giving the static variable here. Static. Okay. I did not give any value to the static variable. You need to assign the value. Okay, guys, listen. I'll do one thing. Now, just a sec. What is the today's date? 19th, right? Use name, price, shop. These are the variables. These are the variables. So you create your own data types. You decide which one should be an instance variable and which one should be a static variable. Did you understand? Go ahead. I need at least 3 juices. Pineapple, dry fruit. Say one more. Orange. What? Anyone? Go ahead. 3 juices. I need at least 3 juices. Go ahead. Go ahead. Use your own data types. Which data types you will take, I don't know. Which one you will take instance variable, which one you will take static variable, I don't know. Don't refer. Don't refer. Take a parameterizer constructor. Pass the values to your instance variables. Don't refer. Just try to write it by your own. Please don't refer. Your wish. Take your own juice names, take your own shop name, take your own price. Don't refer to your previous program. If you are referring, you are copy pasting. You understand the concept, implement that concept. Start your code. What you do? Okay, carry on. A word of advice for static variable, don't try to provide the values from a constructor. For static variables, please don't try to provide the values from a constructor. Why? Because every time you will be giving a different value, the value will be updated. If you are giving the value from a constructor, it's not at all a good programming practice to take it as a static variable. For static variable, directly try to assign the value. Whenever you are declaring only, initialize it. For static variables, whenever you are declaring only, initialize them. That's better. Whenever you are declaring only, initialize the static variable. Yeah. I'm just showing. No problem. Perfect. Good. Completed. Show me. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Now, guys, listen to me. Whenever you are trying to write exactly the same code, almost exactly the same, just within half an hour, I explained that concept, and within 5 to 10 minutes, you're trying to write the same code. You're thinking about referring to the previous program. That should be minimized. You are supposed to write the code by your own without any errors. We need the people who can implement the code, not the theoretical knowledge. And I'm going to test this very soon. Very soon. I promise you with that. Okay. And that's it. That's it for today. Please take this as a task. Take this as a homework. And Monday, we will be having an amazing concept. I promise you with that. Please don't miss Monday session. And yes, 100% I'll not ask you questions on Monday. Okay. I'll not ask you questions on Monday. Please don't miss that concept. If you miss that concept, you're going to regret. Monday's topic is very, very important. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. See you again on Monday. Yesterday's output, I told you to analyze it today one more time. You got your output? Did you execute in Eclipse? Error. Then you did not wrote the code correctly. You did not wrote the code correctly. Just a second. Hemalata, I'll show it on Monday, Amma. Okay? Is that okay, Tali? Chandrasekhar, it's not a mistake. See, you'll not be getting any error, but it's not a good programming practice. Okay? Mitra, can we say instance variables as properties for objects? Not exactly. Not exactly. Basically, object is something which reflects our requirements. So if you are saying that we can represent, I mean, instance variable reflect the properties of objects, that is also correct. But instead of saying that, use like this. For every copy of an object, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. And listen, I'm not saying your statement is wrong. We can say like that, but technically that will not be correct. I hope you're understanding exactly what I'm saying, Mitra. What you said is okay, but not that much up to the mark. Okay, buddy? Right. Implicitly means automatically it will be called Shweta. Explicitly means we need to write the code like dot. Whenever we are trying to call a method, we will be writing AOBJ dot method one like that. Okay. Shiva, I want you to check that in the code. Please check that. Please check that. Okay. Could you please do that for me? If you check it, immediately you'll be able to get that answer. Just check it. Right, buddy. Right. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed our today's session. We'll be trying to continue our session again by tomorrow. Mishra, no. That's not possible. Kindly please wait for static concept, Mishra. Okay. Wait for static concept. In static concept, we'll be discussing about static methods, right? Wait for it, please. Bhanu, that is only for your understanding purpose. It is not recommended. It is recommended to class. It is recommended to call a static variable with the help of class name only. Okay, Bhanushri?